As always, all praise due to the Most High. We talked about it before the game that today's theme was bigger, right? It was bigger because as much as we wanted to win this game, today's game was bigger than just a win. It was Arthur Jones' day here at USF, and the sacrifice, the courage Arthur had when he became the first African American student athlete here at USF. I can't imagine the courage and the sacrifice he had to make, in order to do that, in order for me to be the head coach here, right now, for these guys to be admitted to school right now. It's a big deal. Back in January, we talked about Dr. King's mountaintop speech. And a lot of people didn't know why Dr. King was in Memphis. And they didn't know that his wife didn't want him to go. Even his counsel, his team around him, they didn't want him to go. So many threats on his life at the time. But Dr. King, he used the phrase in that speech. He talked about we have to develop a type of dangerous unselfishness. And, we all know the history of it. The next day he was assassinated, But, Arthur Jones, again, that sacrifice he made, and the courage it took back then, I can't imagine. I'm not, it's not that I don't want to, I can't. And we just wanted to go out today, glorify God's name with our effort and energy, but we wanted to play and win for him today. It was bigger than just a win.
All right, we'll open up for the players.
Guys, two questions for both of you, and Sam, we'll start with you. There's a line in the movie Field of Dreams. If you build it, he will come. I'm going to change it a little bit. If you win, they will come. How nice is it to play back-to-back home games in front of a rabid, packed house, Bulls fans?
I totally agree. I was just saying earlier, I love playing in front of our fans. They give us great energy, and I also think that has a lot to do with coach, because not many coaches go out like on campus, interact with the students. So to have that involvement from a coach is big, and so we can continually need the sport, and we love the sport.
Sam got to come more, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm serious though.
Same thing. Just picking up what Sam said. Coach Amir really be doing a good job, just be involved with the community, and they really bring the whole crowd to the YC. It's really special when we play the YC packed, and they give us energy the whole game. So that's why we used to it.
Congratulations on the win. That's 13 straight. You're the second longest streak in the country behind St. Mary's of California at 15 in a row. Bottom line is focus on the next game and shut that noise out, right?
Yes, sir. We take it game by game. We don't look too far ahead. Just take it game by game.
Same. Just take it by game, day by day. Stay focused because we still got more work to do. Every time we beat a team, there's more work to do. It's not to relax. So that's the mindset.
Sam, talk about how aggressive you were today. You got to the free throw line 8 times, and just the aggression on both ends of the floor. It's what you generally do, but today.
I mean, I was just going out there. They wanted to be physical, so I'll be physical back. Continue to attack strong, play off 2, and when I go to the free throw line, shoot them with confidence. So that was the mindset just heading into the game.
Selton, talk a little bit about your defensive ideas in stopping Zurich Phelps.
Coach told me when we was doing scout that Phelps is going to be really aggressive, one of the best players in the conference. So every time he touched the ball, he's trying to make a play. So we really had to lock in on that and make sure, like, every time he got the ball, I'm in front of him.
You guys have a knack for doing whatever it takes to plow through, and perhaps best underscoring that was the first half this afternoon, in which they had the second break, second chance opportunities. They had the offensive rebounds. You guys had 10 turnovers, more than you had all last week against FAU. I mean, it's like you put your head down and go to work, and you're not concerned about what's going on. You're just kind of focusing on what you need to do. And if you can talk about that too, because at a time when it seems like a lot of things are going against you, you look up and you have the lead.
I was gonna. I mean, those type of situations almost every game. We know the league is good. Every team is good. We just gotta respect them. We gotta stay poised, regardless if we're up 20 or down 20. Just whenever it happens, a bad possession and something that goes well, we just stay poised and keep trusting each other.
I would agree. Like those things matter. Offensive rebound and turnovers. When they're not going the best, we have to lock in on the other details and just continue to just like sit down and lock up on defense and kind of make up for maybe the offensive rebounds we're giving up. That's kind of the mindset, just like lock in. And then we're still in the back of our heads thinking about, okay, we got to be better next play and not let this happen again.
Coach, I'm going to ask you my normal 2 questions. You've been preaching the 2 C's all season, consistency and connection. Today was a perfect example of that, wasn't it?
No, 100%. I think they were 35th or somewhere between 35 and 40 in the net. Dang good team. I know Coach Lanier personally from our time in Georgia together when he was at Georgia State and I was at Kennesaw State. And I like as I told the guys, I know the man, not just the coach. I know the man. So knowing the man, I know the character of his team. I know what his team is going to be, and that's a really good team, guys. That same team, man, they've been playing so well. They put 100 up on somebody last week. I can't remember who it was.
Memphis.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there you go. They put 100 up on them, and that's saying a lot. Okay, and so I was really proud of our group today because they stuck to the game plan, everything but rebounding the ball. But that's not an easy task either, man. That's probably one of the more physical and one of the more athletic teams in our league. And for the first time, playing 4 guards kind of bit us in the butt a little bit. But I didn't think we did a great job of attacking rebounds. I thought we were just like kind of tip, and let them. No, like against a team like that, you got to go attack the ball, rebound it with 2 hands.
Coach, the job of a good assistant coach is to present all scenarios to the head coach. When you guys take a timeout, you don't even go to your team. You go to your assistant coaches right away.
For sure.
How important is it for your staff to know they have that unfiltered access to you during a timeout?
Well, first you got to think like this. William Small recruited and coached me in college. Coach Small has probably forgot more basketball than I've learned, right? So I trust him. Joy Williams has been a successful head coach. I trust her. Ben Fletcher is going to be a phenomenal head coach one day. He and I competed against each other in college. And then Griffin McCone, I think, is going to be a dang good head coach. And then Des Oliver has been a head coach, right? So I'm fortunate, man. I got a big-time staff. And so if I'm asking my guys to be humble and trust one another and be connected, if I'm not the example for that, and with them seeing me interact with the staff and taking opinions, and I can be held accountable too, then, I'm not practicing what I'm preaching. And I want to make sure, I'm practicing what I'm preaching.
Coach, as far as players go in the same scenario, it feels like, when you talk to them coming over to the bench, it kind of, if it was a turnover or something, they feel like their mindset is settled and they're ready to turn the page to after the timeout.
Yeah. We've talked about it a number of times. It's not what happens, but how you respond. I learned that as my first year as a head coach, I did a really poor job of responding, and that's what I've learned. I think that's why our team is better, because I try to be conscious. Like if Jaden has a turnover, yeah, I'm upset, but I can't show him I'm upset, because that's just going, like, he's already mad he turned it over. So I've tried to do a better job, and I need to continue to improve on that. And so, we talk about it all the time. It's not about what happened, but how we respond that matters. And it's why we've been able to, that's a part of the consistency that has got us to where we are.
Coach, talk about how important K Pryor was not only offensively. Kason Pryor, how important he was not only on the offensive side of the ball, but the defensive side of the ball.
No, he was, Kason is a man, if you could be 6'10" and move like a guard, but have size like a guy who's 6'10", man, you hit the lottery, right? So his ability to impact the game on both ends of the floor, because you can, for example, in basketball, in my opinion, it's all about rotation. Can you get a team to help, right? And so when you can have a guy his size that you can switch onto a guard and he can keep a guard in front of him and contest the shot, it helps you stay out of rotation. And so he's a guy that's continued to get better this year. But I think what I'm most proud of him is this. he's a guy that he could be up in my office every day like, Coach, why haven't I started the last 2 or 3 games? But man, all he does is come to practice, come to work, and he continues to get better. So his impact on both ends of the floor, it's invaluable.
Do you feel like the turning point for his playing career here was the benching of him, the tough love from yourself that's made him really respond?
I mean, that would be a very conceited thing to say. I don't like talking about myself. I think the turning point was him just trusting his teammates, like during that time. Again, he could have pouted. He could have hung his head. He could have had just really bad body language, but he chose to come to practice and compete. He chose to stay connected to his teammates. So I'm not going to take credit for that. I'm going to give him the credit because he's the one who responded the right way.
Coach, how about the defense on Zurich? Phelps leading scorer, but he's only 4 of 17 for the Phelps.
Yeah, I mean, it was really good when you can throw Brandon Stroud at him. When you can throw Brandon Stroud at him, you're okay. It happens. But when you can throw Brandon Stroud at him, when you can throw Kobe Knox at him, when you can throw Chris Youngblood at him, and then when you can have Corey Walker actually switch on to him and stay in a stance and not jump after the shot fake, which was in the scouting report, you could be pretty good. So he missed some shots he normally makes, but we tried to make him make as many contested ones as he could, and not go for some of those shot fakes.
Coach, you sat up there last week and you told us, you said we won this game. Casey only had 4. Today he had 19.
Yeah.
Sam had none last week. He had 8 this week.
Yeah.
What does it say about your guys that you can win a game in a multitude of ways with a bunch of different guys kind of leading the way in the scoring department?
Again, I just think it means you got guys that work really hard, away from practice. You have guys that are bought into what we're asking them to do as a staff. Again, I don't envy them by any means. I wouldn't want to play in this era, right? Where you got to have a mixtape after every game. I wouldn't want to do that. I'm okay with it, right? It's the deal. But again, being one of 13 siblings, you got beat up if you talked about yourself too much. Like, I'm being serious. Like, you got beat up. So it just says that we're a really balanced team, and that man, they love being a part of a family.
Coach, 13 wins in a row.
Mm-hmm.
13. How does it feel? It's part of USF history, it's program history. If you could describe the recipe for success besides consistency and connection in 3 words, what would those 3 words be?
Culture wins out. Every time. Every single time. I think the 13 wins, I want people to talk about President Law more than they talk to her about it, and see how she feels about it, because she was an alum. I mean, she was a student here. She's an alum. She runs the deal now. Like, I just hope she's happy. And seriously, like, outside of first thing is always to give God the glory. But I want to make sure the people that entrusted me to lead this program, our job is to not only win games, but how we win it is important. And I think we're winning these things with really high character kids that love playing at the University of South Florida. It's not about me, by any means. I don't want to get beat up. My sister still listens to this.
Coach, in November and December, these press conferences were a discussion between Leo and Amir.
No,
How nice
you
is it
said it,
now?
not me.
You've been waiting for that,
receipts.
haven't you?
Leo kept rececepts.
How nice is it to have people sit up and notice this program right now?
Again, it's great, because I like, you guys have been sharing in it. You guys, I'm sure everybody that's sitting in here right now sat at a game, sat at a press conference last year, right? We just want everybody to share in the success, right? Like, it's not just about us. Like, think about this, man. All right, our men's track team won the indoor championship last night. Come on. What are we talking about? Like, I'd rather sit here and talk to y'all about that, about what Coach Jenkins and his staff, who won staff of the year. I would rather sit here and talk about that than this win. This win was fun, don't get me wrong. But, man, we won a championship. They got a trophy, right? They're going to get rings, okay? And that what they did together, they'll remember their entire life. That bond that was created because they were a team, it's big time.
Coach, I know you don't like talking about yourself, but I'm going to kind of go down that.
Jay, don't try to get me beat up. My sister's watching the press conference.
Same way. But I sit there and I look at you after the game. You're dancing with the students. We see you on social media. You've ingratiated yourself into this community probably better than any coach in the last decade. Maybe not so much tell us like why you've done that, but what is it about, what have you learned about being in this community where it's not disingenuous, it seems very natural. But what is it about this community, what is it about this university that just makes it so easy for you to open yourself up and to kind of wrap yourself around, your arms around everybody?
Well, I'm the son of William Abdurrahim, all right, and my mother and my father, they raised us on faith, family, and community, okay? So no matter where I go, I'm gonna make sure I'm part of that community. I'm really blessed to have a great wife, and we try to do things like, and I hate even bringing this up because we don't do it for this, but when you talk about being part of the community, it's like, how do you better your community? You know, how do you make your community better? But I think back to Thanksgiving and had the guys over for Thanksgiving meal, right? There's a ton of food left over. Well, we took the 3 kids, boxed everything up individually, and we found a shelter to give it to. And they probably had no clue who I was, which was great, but that's what it's about. It's about bettering your community. And my children are going to grow up with that same sense of community because, again, like no matter where you go, there's a community. And you should want to be part of it, and you should want to better it. So that's where it comes from, honestly. And I just think our students, I think our staff, man, people, they deserve a human being as a head coach. You know, like, I got a title. I'm a human being, though. I was raised on a certain set of principles and values, and I want to be part of it. I want to be approachable, if that makes sense.
100%.
Coach, your team gets into the half-court sets quickly, and generally, they succeed. I was watching the one that was on the left side of the floor with the dribble handoffs.
Yes.
At what point does the player know to roll to the basket off that?
Hey, you trying to get me to tell my game plan? Hey, who are you in here working for? Unzip that jacket. You got a wire on?
No, I'm right.
Hey, golly.
I got a
Hey, they just know, all right? I'll tell you about it off the record.
All right, sure. Thanks. Yeah, it's all right.
Coach, my last question. Selection Sunday's gonna mean something here, isn't it?
Is a selection going on today?
Way to avoid that.
Job
Nice
not finished. Job not finished. We got a big-time game coming up on Saturday at Charlotte, a team that I'm sure they'll be ready for us to come in there. And we're focused on them, but we're focused on getting better. I'm going to go home and I'm going to hang out with the kids and, try to get a good meal from somewhere so my wife doesn't have to cook, take some pressure off her. And I'm going to enjoy hanging out with them a little bit. And then I want to dive into this film because I want to see how we're going to get better. Because, again, having 15 turnovers, we're getting really careless with the ball. And that's not a good thing late in the season. We've got to clean those things up. And if we're going to, get to that thing you were just talking about.
It's still unfinished business, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. No doubt about it.
Coach, many people would say that you should be up for Coach of the Year. I know you don't want to talk about yourself, so tell me how blessed you are to have your staff.
I want to be like Coach Jenkins and I want to be staff of the year, right? Like, I really do. I don't want to be like, trust me, there's no coach in the country that coaches by himself, okay? So if I would rather them give a staff of the year award, and whatever award I get, I'm going to take the plate off and I'm going to go get a plate on it that says staff of the year. I'm going to make sure to get my staff one. I'm unbelievably blessed. Again, I know the value of a staff. Again, if you talk too much about yourself and my family, you get beat up, and it's not fun, okay? It's not fun. You'll think it's just 2 girls, and all of a sudden, this big 6'10" dude come in there and drop a Dusty Rhodes elbow on you, and you don't know what's going on. So, I just think it's important, for our university. Again, I'm deflecting on purpose. I really am. Okay, but I just think it's important for our university. This is a special place, man. And again, I say it all the time, and I promise you, I'm not just trying to throw stats at you. It's the fastest growing university in the country. It's Tampa Bay's home for hoops, right? You got to go to Orlando or Miami. All right, you used to have to go to Miami or Orlando to get a good basketball game. Well, now you can drive for 10, 15, 20 minutes, and you can get a pro-style offense with pro-style players, all right, that compete at a high level, right? So, again, it's special. And we only want to add to it.
Coach, I'm going to steal one more before you go.
Yeah.
I asked Coach Golich the same question.
My guy.
USF becomes a destination, not a stopping point. That's when the program's there. Are you a destination now?
No, because a destination is a vacation. Ain't no vacation here. If you come to USF, if you're going to be a part of this program, it's going to be about work. It's going to be about culture. It's going to be about connection, right? But if you want to go with destination, right, I think it became a destination a long time ago, right? Now I think I think people are seeking it out now. We had a great group of folks in the stands. I can't say names because I'll get a violation, but I went to a high school basketball game on Friday night, and I get a lot of satisfaction out of hearing, "Coach, man, thanks for coming. Man, we hadn't seen USF around here in forever." Man, we want to take care of home. All right, so we're going to take care of home. We're going to recruit home. How can it be a destination to guys that live here? I'm asking, seriously. I'm being a prick, Leo. I'm sorry. All right. But we want to take care of home for sure.
And the bottom line is, if you don't want to defend, don't come here.
Oh, no, y'all think I'm joking. My wife's heard this 100 times. I tell them, look, man, if you come in here just based on basketball, I'll be the first one to tell you, don't come here. I'm going to get on your nerves because I'm going to be pushing you in that classroom. I'm going to be pushing you to get extra work in. Hey, you got a girlfriend? Hey, bring her by the office. I want to meet her, right? I want to know who, and we're going to talk about how to be men, right? A lot of them have great fathers, and I can never replace those guys. But if I'm not going to try hard every day to add on to that foundation that's been set for them, I tell them, don't come. I'll be the first one to tell you. Hey, you think I'm joking? One day he's going to come down here, and I'm going to call you, Leo. But Anthony Edwards, when I recruited him at Georgia, and if you just come in here, I know you're only going to be in school wherever you go 8 months. If you come in here just for basketball, don't come. I'll never forget Coach Crean goes, "Hey, don't say that anymore." I'm like, "Coach, man, we're going to coach that dude every day." And Coach did a great job with him. People thought I was crazy. Why are you leaving? You just helped recruit the #1 player in the country. But he'll tell you, like, it's, we're in the business of developing men. So, if you want to come somewhere where, your head coach is going to be in the background making sure that you get the spotlight, where your head coach is going to make sure he's encouraging you, but also pushing you to be the best version of yourself. Hey, man, there ain't no better place than the University of South Florida. Go Bulls.
Love it. Coach Crean, how much of an impact did he have on you? Talk about that.
Man, I think his wife left. She was here. Miss Joni was here today. But think about this, guys. I was only with him 1 year, okay? And when people ask me, hey, first name is always Billy Kennedy. But I'm telling you, like, that 1 year under Coach Crean, it was like getting a PhD in hoops. You know what I'm saying? It was like, man, I'm telling you, it was like getting a PhD in basketball. So his impact on me has been great. The reason why I am the way I am, outside the community, like my father, but like I'll never forget when I first got to Georgia with Coach. Man, he would go around campus and with his phone, all right? And he'd be talking to students, tell me this, Man, we had the same type of impact we're having here. Man, we sold out, I think, 6 or 7 games that year. So I say it all the time, I've been very fortunate that I was brought up and raised the right way in this business, with some high-level head coaches and some great assistants that I've worked with.
Most important advice that he gave you that you still carry on today with you?
Be you. Be yourself. He said, he goes, he's going to kill me if I try to do an impression, so I'm not going to do it. But he said to me one day, he goes, man, you see so many guys, they get their jobs and they don't know who they are. No matter what you do, be yourself. Because you can't be that other person. Be yourself. And that's what I've tried to do. My first year as a head coach, it probably backfired on me because I miss him every day. I miss my dad. I wish you guys could have met my dad, because if he was standing right here right now, y'all would feel like his presence. Like, and this is what we about. This is what I raised you on. And so that's how I look at it.
Thanks, Coach.
Absolutely.
Anything else, guys?
Coach, I was talking to Corey Walker a couple days ago, and he
God
talked
bless you.
about the importance of intentional relationships among
Yes.
each other. An example he brought up is, like, if my car breaks down, before I call AAA, I want to call up a teammate and have trust that my teammate's going to come pick me up.
Corey told you that?
Yeah, he told me that. I wanted to ask...
MK, I want to raise. I got Corey Walker preaching our message.
Hey, it's working. I wanted to... How are those intentional relationships, just those players wanting to be with each other, wanting to have conversations outside of basketball, how does that translate on the court? Yeah,
because when they have those intentional relationships outside of the court, they're not going to give up on each other on the court. Like, you got to want to fight for somebody, man, And it's not going to just happen because you wear the jersey that's the same color. Like, you got to, like I guarantee you this. If me and you went and grabbed something to eat, right, for like 1 week, say we did it 3 days, man, and say on that 4th day, somebody was looking at me funny, you're going to have a different level of, like, connection and have my back than you would have on day 1, because we've been intentional about our relationship, right? And so, like, you can't expect them to fight for each other. You can't expect them to not give up on one another if those relationships are just average. You know what I mean? So we're on them every day. And I can always tell, I've been doing it long enough now, I can always tell when they hadn't talked very much, or they hadn't been around hanging out with each other very much, because they get quiet on the court. And, man, our team they've been rambunctious over the last few weeks.
Coach, 21 seconds into the game, I think you made a sub. And an example of that is, as soon as Corey came out, 3 of his teammates ran over to him and told him to keep his head up.
Yeah.
That one thing you look back on tape and kind of have an idea of, like,
For sure.
that's when it's working.
For sure. It's ingrained in them now, right? Because, again, in that same mountaintop speech, Dr. King, he said, if you got work, you need to miss work. You need to be here at the march. If you got school, you need to be here at the march. You need to miss school and be here at the march. Be concerned about your brother, is what he said. And then he goes on to talk about having a dangerous unselfishness. Like, be concerned about your brother, man. Like, if he's coming out, and Corey had just picked up a foul, and he picked up the foul going for a shot fake, which he knew, we had said it 100 times in the past 2 days, stay down on shot fakes. So they knew he cared. He cared. He was down on himself. Get your head up, man. We're going to need you. And that's what it's about.